Yes, Jake, that is the arrow I used to kill my first deer.
It's time to make another one happen tonight. What do you guys think?
It 100% is. I've been so freaking busy with work that I haven't even been hunting at all. I got out opening morning. I had a small spike walk in on me, which I posted on Instagram. If you guys follow me, you saw that there. And then I had a whole bunch of doe walk in, but they were right at about 60 yards. My pins are like 20 through 40. I don't really like shooting anything over 40. What are your pins at?
My farthest pin goes out to 75, but I don't think...
You have a 5-pin sight. I have a 3-pin sight, so it's a little bit different. I don't personally like shooting anything over 40, just because like my shot placement confidence at 40 is like super high.
60 is about my gap.
I guess maybe it's a placebo effect, because like the further down I go with my sights, it's like, damn dude, we're really freaking hucking this thing. And all I can envision is like, rather than an arrow, it's like Robin Hood eating it, you know what I mean? So guys, check it out. We got race truck number 1 that's basically a hauler right now. I'd actually just put the fuel cell up in the back of this thing the other night to go out and get fuel, because the intent was to run the machine for quite a while to finish out spreading that topsoil, but something happened. One of the somethings that I'm not talking about is the fact that we got a lot more dirt spread. The topsoil is kind of down in where the ugly fill dirt was, which is a good thing, but then this something happened. And this something that I'm talking about is my track took a big old poopy on me. There you can see one of the splines has quite literally shown itself, and it should not be that visible. You can see all the wiring that makes this track as structurally sound as they are, man. These things are freaking intense, but this track is completely compromised. It's crazy how that just snapped like that. I genuinely don't know how many hours are on these tracks. They still actually, I mean, they look like they have a decent amount of life left, because there's still like a really nice gap between either pad on this tread. I think that a rock ended up finding its way up and into the undercarriage and must have kind of just worked its way in here and just boop, popped that thing open. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it early enough, so it kind of did scrape up the side of the machine here a little bit. I guess it could be worse. We have a whole bunch of touch-up paint and everything like that at the shop, but I do have new tracks on order. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to share this with you because it's new information to me. These tracks are what are considered narrow tracks. They're only about 12 inches wide. I got a lot of information from you guys on Instagram. We're actually going to be going with a wide track. That'll be 16 inches wide. So not only are we going to give our machine a little bit more stance, it's going to look good, but it's actually going to perform better for the use cases that I put it through. And when you're track shopping, there's actually 3 different types of tracks. You can go the narrow, a wide, and then an ultra wide. I think respectively it's 12, 16, and 18 inches. We went with a wide, and it's what's called a multi-bar pattern. There's a C shape, there's an H shape, there's a square shape. There's all these different types, but they just depend on your use case. I wanted to get the one that would best suit pretty much every use case, whether it's dry hard packed dirt like this, whether it's asphalt like that, whether it's rocks like in the back, whether it's snow, any other surface that we could basically drive on. They say that a good set of tracks, like high quality tracks, last about 1,000 hours. That's about what my research concluded. Unfortunately, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then while we have the tracks off, they won't be in today, but when we go to do this, I actually ended up buying a new final drive gear as well. So this thing gonna end up getting replaced. You can see it's still pretty healthy, but it's starting to see out, and this gap is becoming wider. That over time will end up either chewing up tracks or you'll skip tracks, and it won't be good for a brand new set of tracks. So investing in the tracks, a very small investment to also invest in a sprocket, seems to make most sense. So we don't have the 2020 Denali today, but rather we've got a race Denali. My friends, we've got Sam from Limeridge's Denali here hanging out at the shop, and it's full race truck fever. This thing's probably about 750 horsepower. Then we've got the 1,000 horsepower Notorious 8-ball chilling and broing down. 420s on the asphalt, looking freaking sweet. I got this truck up here today basically because I just felt like driving Sam's Denali today. It's quite literally as simple as that. I grabbed some coffee after I worked out in the morning. I stopped by at Limeridge to say good morning to the family down there, and I kind of said, hey Sam, I want to take your truck to work today. And he's like, all right dude, leave your truck here with me. And I'm like, all right dude, great. So yeah, we're whipping around in the Notorious red Denali. If you guys want to give Sam from Limeridge a follow, his information's in the description below, and you guys should definitely check out Limeridge's website as well. Always linked below in every single one of my videos.
What does this have power-wise?
750.
Single turbo?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. We should talk about it real quick. You want to pop the hood? Oh yeah. So this truck right here is very similar to my OG LML, except rather than having the DURTYMAX tuner Stealth 64 Valley VGT turbocharger, it's actually got the Stealth 67 VGT turbocharger. It's got bigger injectors, it's got a bigger pump, it's got ARP bolts fastening down the heads to the block. It is a very stout setup, and then it's got a fully built transmission as well. Stealth 67, easily in my book, has to be the best sounding turbo ever, because it is just pretty much what I define as true turbo whistle, like turbine. Here, let me show you what you're talking about. That right there in and of itself Makes me miss my LML in the worst way ever. Like, fixed vane chargers are sick. You make big power with them, but for everyday drivability, I'd rather hear that. No question, no question. And as a token of my appreciation, he was a little low on gas. He was right at about a quarter tank, so I decided I'd fill it up and return it completely full for him. Sam, thanks for letting me steal your truck for the day, dude. I appreciate it. Easily one of the greatest sounding turbos of all time. DURTYMAX tuner absolutely killed it with this one.
Wow, does that thing sound amazing at high RPMs.
This thing's sick, dude. This thing is freaking awesome. Easily one of my favorite trucks of all time. Welcome back to the shop, guys. Today we're gonna be breaking into the Ford project and we're gonna be getting it started. We're gonna be cracking some ice. We're gonna be going over our plans for today's video here shortly, but I just wanna let y'all know, if you really like that red truck out there, I basically have its silver Chevy brother and it could be your truck. So if you wanna get entered for a chance to win this one, the only real difference is the fact that it's got fixed vane turbo ×2, it's got the same injectors as that truck out there, it's got the same fuel pump as that truck out there, it's got 1,000 horsepower Worley custom fab built transmission that's actually the exact same color as the powder coat on this truck. And right now, 5 time signatures are live, but they actually end in less than 48 hours. So in the last video, we revealed all of the illusion purple powder coating perfection that we're gonna be installing of this Kelderman air ride setup for the Ford. Kind of thought long and hard about really where we wanted to start, and it looks like the front end is definitely the least intricate part of this installation. They quote 35 hours to install this lift kit, so don't expect like 2 videos and this thing to be done. Rather, it's probably going to be quite the build series process because there's a lot of stuff involved and there's just no way it's physically or humanly possible to get it all done in 2 videos. So the idea here is that we got to get the truck up on the lift, and to do the front end, we're actually going to be deleting the Cali suspension leveling kit that's on this truck. Pretty much all of the front end suspension components are coming off and the radius arms. Now the radius arms are not here right now. There was some minor scratching that happened in transport, so they're back at Martin's and they're just going to recoat them for us. We should be able to make a decent dent in today's project and getting front end converted to air ride. So without further ado, boys, say goodbye to the 6.7 as you know it, because it will never look like this ever again. All right, dudes, update.
I broke everything.
You did. Look at it. It's undrivable anymore. Not going to move from this lift until it looks a lot prettier up underneath. We're really starting to fall in love with solid axle trucks or single axle trucks up front, because once you have your process of disassembly, it literally comes right apart. It's pretty awesome. We got all that stuff out. I do have a Cali 2.5-inch level kit for 17 plus Fords for sale, and there was a lot of FORs in there. But anyway, give me a message on Instagram. It's probably going to sell really quickly, and it's in mint condition. It is just the springs and the stock shock extensions. We are not going to be selling the track bar with it because we're actually going to be reutilizing it. It kind of worked out really nicely that there was already a pre-adjustable beefed up Cali track bar on this truck already. The installation is going to be made a little bit easier because Kelderman provides comprehensive, with pictures, instructions to walk you through every step of the way. They even make it interactive, saying record and measure the pinion angle at 6 degrees, which we did. You can really check everything off, cross your T's, dot your I's kind of a deal, which brings me to the pitman arm, which is going to have to get pulled off this truck, so I need to stop at Advanced and grab myself one of those tools, but I'm just going to get the installation started in the meantime. All right, guys, so we have a brief interruption in the progress of how far we're getting on the install in this video. Let it be a lesson to all of us, because this has happened to the best of us if we've ever picked up a wrench, tried to start on a project that we've never done before. Here we are as kind of like a quick look to our progress. We've got our upper airbag perch somewhat in place, and we've got our lower perch kind of resting here just to get a general idea as to what this will look like when it comes together. There's a lot of drilling required that we learned in this process, to where we're actually going to have to drill and then tap some bolt holes for the back mounting bolts here. And then of course up top, we've got our new mounting location secured. This bracket's kind of just chilling in the meantime. Got our bottom perch kind of resting in place. That's nice. It really just bolts in. There's no drilling required. But this is kind of where we initially realized that we were in over our head in terms of tool capability. And that's kind of why I wanted to take the last part of this video just to show you guys that it can happen to the best of us whenever we're trying to do something new. I encourage everybody to always do something new because it really helps you to grow and expand into things that maybe you didn't realize that you were capable of doing. But in this instance, especially working on vehicles and getting into this new caliber of a lift installation, complexity, etc., we're just kind of shorthanded on tools. We have cobalt drill bits, which are fantastic for drilling into hardened steel, which is, of course, a chassis, but we do not have the exact size as per the installation instructions. And I am a man of following instructions when instructions are available because I want to make sure that this is done right. Inevitably, it's going to be carrying passengers, it's going to be carrying my son, my wife, family, friends, etc., and I want it to be done with the uttermost peace of mind, and we don't have the right drill bits to execute that. Now, on top of that, once we were to drill with the drill bits that we don't have, we were supposed to tap and thread those holes so we could actually secure our bracket to the frame. We also don't have the right tap and die set. And on top of that, we ran into a small complication with the pitman arm where the tools that we rented from Advanced Auto literally just aren't strong enough to break that off. We kind of did some good damage to it, and it's really bent. So yeah, that didn't work all that well. Fortunately, our friends down at DieselWorks have a heavy-duty pitman puller, so we're gonna actually go get that tomorrow, and then that way we can kind of jump in installing the new extended pitman and idler arm. It's actually a Skyjacker product, which is right here in the box, which we need to elongate because we're inevitably going to be having a lot more lift height here. But I kind of wanted to wrap up the end of this video to give you guys a small update as to the progress that we made. It might not seem like much, but we got a lot of the disassembly done. The whole front end is basically ready for reinstallation. Now it's just a matter of reassuring ourselves that we've got the right tools. Really, the only way that you know that you have the right tools is A, you can do it all ahead of time, but if you're like me, you have absolutely no time to spare in your day, and there's no chance that you'd have the ability to go through this entire setup step by step to check tools. The good thing is I do have an Amazon business account, and they do have some seriously expedited shipping measures on there, but we do have a brand new, super expansive tap and die set coming in, and we've got a very nice assortment of cobalt drill bits. I think it was like, dude, it's like a 96 piece drill bit set, or it was 60 bucks. It wasn't even bad, and it had like great reviews. That's pretty much where we're gonna stop tonight. We can look at some of the components that we're gonna be dealing with before this video ends. We've got our passenger side upper mounting perch, lower mounting perch. We've got our track bar extension bracket. This is actually gonna bolt up in place of the factory one. We've got our sway bar extension brackets right here, and then we've got our front steering dampener mounting bracket itself. And then we've got some of our other kind of miscellaneous brackets over here to make that happen. And on top of that, what you get with this Kelderman kit is actually Raptor shocks. They're super cool. They're totally blacked out. So how could you argue that whatsoever? This is actually the steering dampener setup, like on some of our previous trucks. And then of course, we've got these really badass external reservoir, again, all blacked out, Kelderman shocks by Raptor. They look awesome, just completely blacked out. All right, I would say it's a successful hunt, although we didn't get anything. Still a great night in the woods. As you guys saw, Jake was up in a tree, probably about 45 to 50 yards kind of on the hill, and he was actually watching some doe come in. The sun beat us before we beat the deer in a way, so we completely lost visibility of all of them. Very good night overall. He actually brought my Viper tree stand out with him tonight, so he's out in the woods right now. I just wanted to get back for the doggos, let them out, because it was a long day. We were at the shop chilling for a while, doing all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, that's where we're gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little hunting tidbit at the end of the vlog here. Pretty motivated to get something with you guys this year. We're gonna keep getting out there and we're gonna see what we got. Rut is only but around the corner, and when there's female deer, there's gonna be male deer that show up. Tap that subscribe button and notification bell on your way out. Grab some entries for Dream Diesel giveaway number 13. 5 times entries, compound turbo DURTYMAX, $10,000 cash, and I'll see y'all in the next upload.